So it was 2017 when a very dear investor of mine, after almost about a 6-month or perhaps longer search, we had narrowed down on 2 particular properties and we were about to make our final decision. Is it going to be a townhouse or an apartment? Stick around to the end for understanding exactly what it was that tipped the scales in favor of one of these. Okay, my name is Fahd Dawood. I've been doing this for 14 plus years. I talk about real estate, your life, my life, and our path to allowing financial abundance coming to us. I started in 2006 in Toronto, Canada, and since 2007, I've been doing real estate in Dubai. I'm also the author of The Intelligent Real Estate Investor. You can buy a hard copy of Amazon, or if you want to order the ebook, there should be a link down below. If you want to work one-on-one and you want specific advice or you want to purchase a property, there is a contact form below. Reach out to me and I'll explain to you. You'll get direct access to me, and if you choose to, you can work with me. It is a paid service. If you want free advice, general questions I answer in the comment section, or I'll make videos on them, so you can always put them in the comment section, and I'm happy if it makes sense for everybody else to hear the answer. I'll respond, and so everybody else can also benefit. Okay, now a lot of you who've been following me are subscribing, and if you're not, please do subscribe. It helps me get the message out across to more people. So if you find my videos useful, listen, by hitting the subscribe button, more and more people get to see it because YouTube throws it out to them, and YouTube thinks that I'm talking something that makes sense. So if you're finding it beneficial, hey, help your fellow mankind just the way I'm trying to do over here. Okay, check this out. So a lot of you know my journey in real estate. I was an investor, I've been an agent, I'm an agent, a broker you can say, a trainer, a teacher, a mentor, so on and so forth. And my journey has been, it's not been just like this where I started making money or I started making investments that were making money. I've lost money, I've made no money, and I've learned from many other people who knew much more than I did. Okay, now if you followed me long enough that instead of going the disorganized gut feeling, the haphazard way of real estate investments, not just in Dubai but anywhere else in the world, I favor the organized, a systemized, a process-driven approach. Now, when you work with me specifically, you'll see I follow a process, a framework that I've come up with over the last 14 plus years that has worked very well for myself and other investors. And I apply that process to your investments as well, okay? Now, I'm going to share a little part of the story of one of these investors who is also a friend or became a friend of mine. We'd been out in the field for 10 plus months, I think, looking for the right perfect investment that just ticked all the boxes, or at least ticked 90% of the boxes, right? We'd done due diligence on a lot of properties, we'd looked at a lot of properties, just nothing was really clicking with us. At the end of the day, about 10 months or so into our search, we narrowed it down. We actually narrowed it down between an apartment. So I'm just going to say apartment here as A, okay, and townhouse over here. This apartment was in an area called JVC, okay, Jumeirah Village Circle, okay, but it could have been anywhere else, okay. After a long search, after defining our strategy, going out into the field, looking at different projects, doing the due diligence, understanding them, we narrowed it down to making a choice, a decision between 2 properties. One was an apartment, so I call it A, and the other was a townhouse in an integrated master plan community by one of the large developers in Dubai. They kind of know what they're doing. Now here's what we thought about, okay, while we were trying to judge between should we buy the apartment or should we purchase the townhouse. Now, because I've got experience in development, in selling lands and so on and so forth, this is what I explained to my investor, okay? Essentially speaking, you might not know about this, but JVC in Dubai stands for Jumeirah Village Circle, okay? But you can take the principles I talk about and apply it to any city, anywhere else in the world, to Toronto, Paris, London, so on and so forth. Now, Jumeirah Village Circle is a large area with approximately 300 plus plots of land. Most of them are for buildings. Now, the buildings are either ground plus 4, ground plus 10, ground plus 16, ground plus 20, or ground plus 70. Okay, so as I told you, I've worked in plots and plot sales, so I know what I'm talking about. This is essentially the zoning of Jumeirah Village Circle. One plot of land could have a building. When you say ground plus 4, it means essentially speaking a building with a ground floor and 4 stories. A ground plus 10 means 10 stories, ground plus 16 means 16 stories, ground plus 20 means 20 stories, and ground plus 70 means 70 stories. And there are few which are G unlimited, ground plus unlimited, okay? Unlimited doesn't mean you can build Burj Khalifa there. There's still a limit, but it just means, anyways, we're not getting into that right now. What I explained to my investor slash friend was that if you were to buy this, this apartment in this tower in 2017, I told him, we discussed this. I told him that, I see a lot of supply coming into the Dubai market, and he agreed, right? Because we're not looking to time the market. We're trying to purchase value. And what we both agreed on at that point, me trying to elaborate and share this with him, share my knowledge with him, was that if you buy this teeny tiny apartment here, guess what? Tomorrow, if you're renting it out, tomorrow, if you're selling it, you're competing with all these towers that also have apartments. Now, it is possible, and it was actually true at that stage, the apartment that we were trying to purchase was one of the best and the highest quality apartment in Jumeirah Village Circle. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that all these extra apartments in that area are going to take away from your apartment's value. Plus, when you've got a plot of land, this is the amount of land you essentially need to go upwards and build a tower, right? Okay, now this tower could have 200 apartments. So now what I want you to notice is, do you see how small a parcel of land you need to go up vertically? That is not the case when you look at townhouses, right? With townhouses, your parcel of land is going to have to be this big for you to fit in 200 townhouses. And then you've got to provide all the services, the roads, the infrastructure, the telecommunication, the sewage, the parks, the mosques, the schools, and so on and so forth. Now, whether you like it or not, a small parcel of land generally is going to cost less, and a large parcel of land is going to cost more. And then while a small parcel of land is going to have 200 apartments, a very large parcel of land is just going to have 200 townhouses. So even from a logical, commonsensical point of view, if you were looking at the future of Dubai and you knew that Dubai's government wishes to increase residential inventory in Dubai so that rents come down and cost of doing business comes to a more bearable level, guess what? You know that even with the rising inventory, townhouses are going to be much more in demand than apartments, because 300 plots of land into 200, let's look at this. I'm just giving you a rough calculation. This isn't exact figures. 300 into, let's say even 150 apartments. That's 45,000 apartments as compared to 200. Which one would have or hold more value, going forward in the future? Ta-da! Makes sense. This one would, right? So we had one tick mark for a townhouse. The other part that we looked at, and I explained to my investor slash friend, based on, sometimes I bring value outside the framework based on what's happening in the environment, in the market. And this is what I said. In JVC, whether we like it or not, the community feeling was weak, okay? Because each tower stands on its own. Now, the towers and the buildings sometimes are absolutely amazing and they deliver a lot of value to the people who are living in that building on its own. But the moment you step out onto the road, you're essentially, JVC kind of feels like a city, right? Which is good on its own. Some people like that. But a townhouse community done by a proper developer has a great community feel, okay? It just integrates things well. Things come together very well. There might be a mosque, might be a school, might be a nursery. Essentially, the master developer provides amenities to service the 200 or so people who are living in the townhouses, or 350 or whatever might be the case, as compared to several different plot owners. They can't come together to deliver a community feel. Now, did I prove right? I don't really care about proving right, but what has happened is 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, we had the weird pandemic. So we kind of like don't talk about 20 in terms of, it's an anomaly, right? For instance, I don't know, the year, okay, let's not get into that. But what has happened with the extra inventory coming into the Dubai market and with the pandemic, prices of apartments have gone down, and in some cases are still going down, whereas prices of townhouses have gone positive, and this is negative, and they've gone positive. And the simple reason is, whereas previously people were looking at purchasing, let's say, a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom apartment, prices of townhouses had also come down. Okay, let's be fair. In 2018-19, prices of townhouses also came down. But people all of a sudden who were looking at buying apartments started looking at buying townhouses. That's one of the reasons that prices of townhouses and villas in 2020 have actually gone up, which is kind of weird, right? But that's the reality of the situation. The other is, with a large number of apartments coming in as inventory into the market, it has caused prices to come down, or it has caused some pressure on prices in general on apartments across Dubai. Now, if you watch some of my other videos with how rent's going to recover, how people are going to move over here to Dubai, etc., etc., we've seen this before. You'll understand this is not a horror story. I'm just giving you a comparison for you when you're about to make a decision. Sometimes you want to step back away from the numbers, look at the whole picture. You're not predicting and trying to play the future, but you're trying to assess what or how things might play out in the near future. I hope this makes sense, and I hope you're able to benefit from this. Hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon, press the like button, share the video with others you feel might be able to benefit from this. If you want to work with me to buy a property in Dubai, there is a contact form below. It's a paid service. You can reach out to me. If you want free advice, hit me up in the comment section. If I'm able to, I'll answer it for you. Perhaps sometimes I'll make a video out of it as well. Ciao for now. Bye.